If you're interested in minimalism but aren't quite sure how to get started, well, I'm gonna go over everything with you today of how to get started and how to become a minimalist and some of the tips that I have for you guys of what I've learned on my journey so far. So keep watching because all that's coming up next. So today's topic is gonna be on minimalism, how to become a minimalist, how to get started as a minimalist. So if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you've Googled for how to become a minimalist and you've come to the right place. If you're new to my channel, I started this journey probably around 5 or 6 months ago, and it's definitely been a step-by-step process. It wasn't like I just said, oh, I'm gonna become a minimalist and it was done. No, it's been like an ongoing just effort and little by little, because it's hard. Like, it's hard to purge when you have all these emotional attachments to things, or you're worried about wasting the money, things like that. It's hard to let go. So for me, it started out, I had to purge, and then it took me a while, and then I purged a little more and went from there. So anyways, I want to talk to you about how to get started as a minimalist. The first step is that you need to make a commitment to yourself to live on less. Seriously, if you're not in it 100%, if you haven't made that commitment, it's going to be pretty tough to succeed because it's a very difficult process. It's a very emotional process. So you need to make that conscious decision. I want to live with less. I want to get rid of the excess. I want to get rid of the waste. I want to reduce my anxiety, free the clutter from my life, not have to spend so many hours cleaning every weekend, things like that. You have to make that commitment. And once you've made that commitment, then you can start to make the change. And the very first thing that you're going to want to do is purge. I'm going to put a link to my video on the purging process down in the description box below. So if you haven't seen that video, check that out. I talk all about how the purging process was for me, my thoughts, my tips for you guys. So you're going to want to start the purging process. And I actually encourage you not to first think about what you want to get rid of, but actually think about what you don't want to get rid of. Because when you really pinpoint what's most important to you, what things you like the most, enjoy the most, then it helps you, in my opinion, be more objective throughout the rest of the process. You're a little bit less emotionally attached to other things because you feel secure in the fact that you can maintain your attachment to these other things. So for me, I love jewelry and I love scars, and I didn't want to get rid of anything. I mean, I did get rid of a little bit, but not very much. And at first I was thinking I was going to have to purge in those areas, and then I thought, no, those things bring me a lot of joy. I really like them. I like the variety that it adds to my wardrobe. So I made the decision to not purge in those areas, but to slowly reduce my wardrobe and start investing in higher quality items and building that capsule wardrobe. So I may only have a few pieces of clothes that can be intermingled and mixed, but I'm going to just add flavor to these outfits by my scars and my jewelry. So I made the decision that those were the 2 areas. And then actually also my kitchen, I didn't purge a lot because I cook so much. So I picked those areas that I'm like, I'm not really going to downsize in those areas. And then that kind of freed me up in all the other areas to be more objective and think, okay, I'm keeping the things that are most important to me, so let me start letting go of some of this other stuff so I have more room for the things that I really do want. And then you just go through room by room and literally just start pulling stuff. Like, that was what I did, and I talk about it in my purging video, is I did like a pre-purge, and it was a powerhouse session where I went from room to room and just started grabbing all the stuff that I knew in a split second, like, I'm not gonna want, I don't use, I don't want it, it's just taking up space. Something I also mentioned in my purging video is that I highly recommend that you enlist the help of a friend or a family member who you trust, who is someone you feel very comfortable with, to help you in this process, because you need someone who's being even more objective than you are to help just kind of give you that little nudge, that little push of hey, do you really need that? When's the last time you used that? When do you think you'll actually use it again? And it helps when you have that outside person kind of in your head, making you make decisions quicker, making you be more objective. The next thing you want to do is you want to evaluate your finances, and you want to start cutting costs wherever you can. If you have a lot of excess in your life, my guess is you probably have some debt too. At least I know I do, and I have some other videos I recently published talking about how much debt I have and my plan to pay it off. But you can't live a true life of freedom and happiness when you have that debt just hanging over your head. So I strongly encourage you to look at your finances, see what things you can cut. If you're not using that tanning membership, or which I don't recommend tanning, or something of that nature, then cancel it. You don't need to be just throwing away money every month, and figure out what you can do to bring in extra money. Start saving money. Take some of the things that you purged and sell them, and take that money and save it. Another thing you want to do when getting started, after you've purged everything, you want to start getting organized. You want to create systems, not just things in bins on shelves. You want to create a system. You want to start paying attention to where does your family set stuff back on the counter or inside the cupboard, or are clothes getting piled on the floor in certain areas of the bathroom or the bedroom. Start strategically placing trash cans or laundry baskets, or you're gonna have bins that are in the cupboards and the drawers that are labeled so that people know where to put things back away. And in this minimalist lifestyle, you want to be able to have a clutter-free mind, and when things are chaotic around you, it clutters up your mind, and it creates anxiety, and it makes it harder to focus. And at work, I started applying minimalism at my work and getting organized and reducing the paper and the sticky notes. And once I kind of removed all those little notes tacked to the wall or sticky notes on my computer screen, it was amazing how much less anxiety I had and how much freer I felt and how better I was able to focus just by removing that white noise around you that distracts you. Then something truly amazing happens. You'll notice that as you continue on your journey, when you start getting rid of that excess and waste, your mind opens up and you start evaluating every area of your life. This is where it gets really exciting. You'll be truly surprised at what happens, how you start seeing the world, how you start seeing the people around you, your relationships. You start thinking about who you want to spend your time with, what do you want to do during your time, what do you want to do for a living, how do you want to contribute to the world. It's amazing, like it changes everything. I would never have known that making the choice to get rid of a little bit of stuff, because that's how it started out, I would never have guessed how much it would transform my life in such a short amount of time. I really encourage you to give this a try and just see where it goes. Then you want to start creating a schedule. You want to set goals. You want to figure out what you have to do to achieve those goals. Get a good routine. Start setting rituals. Things like every day after you're done blow drying your hair, you let the blow dryer cool for a minute and then you put it away, making small daily habits like that. And that's something I'm still working on. I did a lot of improvement in my house as far as decluttering and organizing, but it's that everyday cleanup, that everyday change that is very hard to make. It's hard to change bad habits. So me and my family are working on that. It's a daily struggle, but as long as I keep trying, it's never a failure. I think that something that is really important is changing your mindset from quantity versus quality to quality versus quantity. So when I was a single mom for a lot of years, I thought it was better to spend a little bit of money and get a lot of things, only to now realize that that's not a great way of thinking. When you go and you spend a little bit of money but get a lot of things, a lot of times those clothes, like if you go shopping at the thrift store, within a matter of weeks or months you decide that they don't fit right, they don't look good, they start to get holes or tear in the seams. And so here it is, yes, you only spent a little bit of money, but you have a closet full of clothes that you always walk into thinking, I have nothing to wear. What am I going to wear? I don't look good in any of this. So I have changed my outlook to now see it as quality versus quantity. So rather than buying $60 worth of clothes that aren't that great at the thrift store, I'll spend $60 on one blouse or one pair of pants that I feel like $1 million in. So it's just kind of that change in mentality that it's okay to spend a lot of money on an item as a minimalist. It's that you're buying something quality, something that you're going to get a lot of value out of, and something that's going to last you a long time, something that you'll be more inclined to take care of because you've made more of a financial investment into it. So that's just a little tip for you, is to kind of change your perspective. If you were like me and it was buying cheap in bulk, and that's not always the best way to go. Lastly, you want to start surrounding yourself with positive people. People who are going to uplift you and motivate you and encourage you to continue on this journey. It's not easy to embark on a minimalist journey. Trust me, it's going to be super emotional. You're going to be picking things up and realizing, like, why am I so upset about letting this thing go? It's just a tennis racket, but you know, it was my grandfather's tennis racket or something like that. You have these emotional attachments, and just it's getting through that process. And then when you start really seriously evaluating your life and it comes very quickly and very intensely, then it can be a little overwhelming. So it's okay. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with the process. Do not expect perfection overnight. You are not going to decide to become a minimalist and in a weekend, poof, be a minimalist. It's going to be a long journey. It takes many people years to really get to the point where they want to be. So I'm definitely in the middle of my journey, and that's what I document here on my channel. Please stay tuned for more episodes like this if this is something that you're interested in. Please, if you're new to my channel, hit that subscribe button so you can see my latest videos on more topics like this. And don't want to forget to hit that bell button, because that's what's going to allow YouTube to send you notifications when I post a new video. Thank you so much for watching. I truly appreciate all your guys' support. Don't forget to leave me some comments, because I always respond to you guys. It means a lot to me. I love to hear from you. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.